Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Of course, let's keep growing as a family. Big shout out to you guys for being so much supportive. Guys, let's dip into the main business. Noni Madueke, a speculation, another player that is most likely to leave Chelsea this summer. Guys, if you ask me, in my own opinion, that would I sell Madueke this season? I would say a big no. A big no. In my own opinion, I believe this is going to be a very, very big, huge mistake for Chelsea to decide to sell Noni Madueke this summer. And like you can see, is a kind of a player that is just as easy to be sold. I'm betting you loads of clubs will show great interest in Noni Madueke, and this is why. Madueke is the kind of a player that doesn't score too much, but sometimes made huge impact in games. You know, and I pick up this point from so many good coaches that have made a comment on Madueke, and I mean, last season, just concluded season, Annie Slot said, quite a few things about Madueke in the second leg of Chelsea against Liverpool in Stamford Bridge. This guy single-handedly run Liverpool shit. You know, he did some massive attacking football that I personally was so confused. But the reality is that Madueke is just a kind of a player that lacks consistency. He lacks consistency, and I think he's just a player that is not serious enough in terms of there's a loads of things that is distracting these boys from getting into their top performance. I'll bet with you, I've seen Madueke play in some games this season, and I was like, wow, this guy can literally, be one of the best in Premier League if he's not being distracted, being a little bit lazy about things, and taking this, football, this job very, very serious. You know, we know his potential, and let me tell you one thing: Madueke playing against Wolves last season, one of the best games he has ever had in Chelsea shirt, would convince you totally that you shouldn't sell this guy. And I've told you the only reason and the only thing that I see about these players is they are not giving their best. They are not just giving their best. They are being, distracted by a lot of things. We signed Madueke in 2023 January summer from RB Leipzig, from PSV Hannover's, 29 million pounds. We know what he was doing in PSV then. This guy is one of the, I mean, run town man, run town man. He's doing very very good job in PSV. So we're very attractive. We brought him in, and to be honest, Madueke has played about 71 games. He scored 23 goals. The numbers might not be too good enough, but statistically, I believe that for a winger of 23 years old, it's still not bad. It's still not bad. You know, he's still gonna get into his prime age. This age still looks like a very young age for a player like Madueke. So I believe he can still improve. He can still get better. But the reality is that when is he gonna get better? That's the problem. When is he gonna give us that so much consistency? You know what I mean? This season he has scored 10 goals as well. I can remember 7 goals in Premier League and 3 goals in Conference League. Ironically, for a winger, it's not bad. If we have, I can't even remember if Martinelli scored up to that goal. If Doku, if Grealish scored up to that goals, even Mohamed Kudus this season, I'm not quite sure if he had up to 10 goals. So this is what I'm saying, guys. I'm not saying he's the best player for Chelsea, but with his age, with his little bit of experience he has had in Premier League, I would keep him. I would definitely keep Madueke. And honestly, when you look at the rules, I mean to say, like, the kind of transfers Chelsea has been doing lately since the blue coat came in, you arguably know that if we sell Madueke, it's going to be a big mistake, because you want to go out there and buy another potential winger. We are not that club that's going out there to sign a big names winger, because no big name wingers that is going to kind of earn lesser than 200. And that's why the likes of Nico Williams, Bacola and all these guys, they're just out of list for Chelsea, because we can't afford it. We can't bring in these players and start paying them £250 a week. So for me, with a little bit of experience Madueke has had in, Premier League and even with England, just a few games with, I think, 7 appearances with England, hasn't scored yet, but I made some couple of assists. So to me, I feel like it's just that kind of a player that he can improve. And realistically, this season has also shows that Madueke is another player that we shouldn't sell because he can play as a right wing and as a left wing. So even being playing as a right wing, I think the first game I saw him playing on the right wing was against Leicester at home, and man was hitting the ground running. Put a lot of pressure on. I mean, Leicester defender. So I wouldn't, I wouldn't be an advocate of selling Madueke. Why do we want to sell him? We are still, a young team trying to learn, trying to. If you sell the players that is already used to the system, that already knows that we are young. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, guys. But in my honest opinion, I wouldn't. I wouldn't sell Madueke. I'll keep him at least for next season. Let's see what he's got next season. Though next season is gonna be very, very competitive with the like of Estavio coming in, and I don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't really see. I mean, any chance of putting Estavio on the bench, which is gonna be like a very massive competition. So we'll see what happens next season, guys. Let me know what you think about Chelsea selling Madueke. Easy, easy sell. 40 million week at least. We're gonna make about 10 million in 2.5 years for Madueke. That's a very good business, and I'm quite sure few big teams are already lining up. The likes of Arsenal, Newcastle. I mean, selling him is not a problem, but the problem is how are you gonna replace Madueke? What sort of potential players are you buying in? We are not buying experienced player, of course. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Should Chelsea sell Madueke or should we keep him? My thought is let's keep him. Let's see what he's got next season, and of course, we can move on from there. So, I'll see you on to the next one, guys. Peace and love.